A civilization that never invented the wheel, iron, or writing, how did it dominate an entire continent? In the next minutes you'll see the hidden labor contracts, the stone-cutting secrets, and the shocking twist that kept the empire alive. Watch as we reveal the moment the Inca's silent economy outsmarted the Spanish conquistadors. A stone wall rises from the mist, its perfectly fitted blocks whispering a question no one can read: how could a people without a written script command 10 million souls? In the next few minutes we'll follow the clues left in quipu knots, mountain roads, and communal feasts to answer that impossible puzzle. And then, we'll witness the moment the empire's silent economy turned the tide against a foreign invader. Before the empire, the Andes were a patchwork of high-altitude cultures, Tiwanaku, Wari, and countless local chiefdoms, each carving terraces into the sky. Their legacy was a network of roads and stonework, but no central authority. The stage was set for a new power to emerge from the highlands of what we now call Peru. Around the early 13th century, a charismatic leader named Manco Capac gathered scattered clans under a single banner, proclaiming himself the son of Inti, the sun god. He chose the valley of Cusco, a natural amphitheater, as the heart of his new realm, planting the first seed of an empire that would stretch across 4 continents of the Andes. But the first crack appeared almost immediately. The empire's expansion required food for armies marching through deserts and jungles. Traditional tribute, gold, silver, or crops, was unreliable. The Inca solved this with a radical idea: labor as tax. Every household owed a set number of days to the state, a system called mita, turning the population into a living workforce. The mita system turned the empire into a giant construction crew. Within a generation, they built the Capac Nan, a 30,000-kilometer road network that stitched together deserts, high passes, and rainforests. No wheels were needed, llamas carried supplies, and the roads themselves became the arteries of control. Yet, the most baffling clue lies in the empire's record-keeping. Without ink or parchment, the Incas used quipu, colorful strings of knots, to tally everything from census data to grain stores. Scholars still debate the full syntax, but the very existence of such a system proves a sophisticated bureaucracy without writing. The quipu also recorded labor obligations. Each knot represented a day of service, each color a region, each strand a family. When the empire demanded a new road through the Amazon, the quipu revealed exactly how many workers would be dispatched from each province, ensuring no region was overburdened. But here's the twist that no textbook mentions: the Inca's labor tax was not a burden but a promise. In return, the state allocated land, stored food, and hosted massive feasts, celebrations that reinforced loyalty and redistributed wealth. This reciprocity turned compulsory work into a social contract. The empire's agricultural genius amplified this contract. Terraced fields, irrigated by canals carved into rock, produced surplus potatoes, quinoa, and maize. The high-altitude freeze turned potatoes into chuno, a freeze-dried staple that could be stored for years, feeding armies and cities during lean seasons. Yet, the Inca lacked one thing every Old World empire prized: a market. There were no coins, no bazaars, no merchants setting prices. Instead, the state acted as the ultimate distributor, moving goods from surplus valleys to starving highlands, a massive logistical ballet performed without paper or profit. This system worked flawlessly, until 1524, when a Portuguese explorer named Aleixo Garcia slipped through the jungle and reported a golden city to Europe. The rumor ignited a fever of conquest, but the Incas remained oblivious, confident in their self-sustaining order. Then, in 1532, the Spanish conquistador Francisco Pizarro arrived with a handful of men, armed with steel swords and guns, technologies the Incas had never seen. The first clash at Cajamarca seemed like a foregone victory for the Europeans, until the Incas unleashed a secret weapon, their labor-based logistics. Pizarro demanded the Sapa Inca Atahualpa's surrender. The Incas, bound by reciprocity, offered a massive tribute of gold and silver, yet the Spanish seized Atahualpa anyway. The empire's response was not a desperate battle, but a coordinated withdrawal of labor, halting food deliveries to the Spanish camp. The Spanish, unaccustomed to an economy without money, found their soldiers starving despite the captured treasure. Their supply lines, dependent on local markets, collapsed. The Incas' silent economy had turned the very gold they coveted into a curse. But the victory was short-lived. A smallpox epidemic, carried unintentionally by the Europeans, swept through the empire, killing a third of the population. The labor pool vanished, and the intricate reciprocity network began to fray. With the workforce dwindling, the Spanish seized the remaining granaries, redistributing the stored food to their own troops. The Inca's greatest strength, its ability to move resources without markets, became its Achilles heel when the people who powered it were gone. The empire's fall was not a single battle but a cascade of broken contracts. Labor vanished, food stopped moving, and the social fabric unraveled. Yet, the ruins of Sacsayhuaman still stand, a testament to a system that once moved mountains without iron. Archaeologists today still debate the exact mechanics of the Inca economy. Some label it feudal, others socialist, but the consensus points to a unique blend of reciprocity, redistribution, and state-directed labor, a model unseen elsewhere in the ancient world. What remains most mysterious is how the Incas coordinated such massive projects without a written script. The answer may lie in the quipu's hidden syntax, still being decoded by linguists and computer scientists, promising to unlock a new chapter of human communication. And then, everything changed. A recent discovery in the high Andes revealed a previously unknown administrative center, complete with stone tablets of unknown purpose. Some scholars argue these tablets could represent a form of proto-writing, challenging the notion that the Incas were completely illiterate. If the Incas did possess a rudimentary script, it would rewrite our understanding of how a civilization could thrive without the tools we consider essential. It would mean their economic miracle was supported by a hidden language of numbers and orders, silently guiding the flow of labor and goods. Regardless of the script, the core truth remains: the Inca Empire's power lay in a social contract that turned every citizen into both taxpayer and beneficiary. Their roads, terraces, and quipu were the physical embodiment of that contract, a network of trust that required no money, no markets, no iron. So why does this ancient mystery matter today? In an era of economic inequality and resource scarcity, the Inca model reminds us that shared labor and equitable distribution can build societies stronger than any market-driven system. The final clue lies in the legacy of the Quechua language, still spoken by millions, carrying the memory of a people who once fed an empire without cash. Their story urges us to look beyond technology and ask, what invisible contracts bind us today? The Inca Empire shows that a civilization can rise, thrive, and even outweed invaders without wheels, iron, or money, just a shared promise of labor and reciprocity. If you're fascinated by how hidden systems shape history, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and join us as we keep uncovering the mysteries that still echo in our world today.